You're listening to the Gracing Podcast. I'm Thomas, and if you thought that recapping the Trucker is already done, you're wrong because today we are going to talk about the Traka Adventure, which is the 560-kilometer ultra race of the Trucker. And to recap it, as becomes a cool new tradition here on the Gracing Podcast, I invited the two winners. So I'm glad to welcome Svenja Betz. Hi there.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. And of course, Victor, help us out with the good pronunciation of your surname because I already forgot.
Victor Bosoni. Thank you,
Bosoni.
Thomas.
Well, super stoked to have both of you on the show today to talk about which is the longest race of what I think is nowadays called the Trucker Week, because it's a almost a full week event. And well, there is a lot to talk about, especially because it's one of the races that is not broadcast, so you just have a few tidbits here and there. If you like, you can follow on, be a dot watcher and follow there, where you can find a few cool blog updates. But yeah, it's not televised, not live streamed. So a lot of questions that came to my mind, and you have all the answers, or most of the answers. And me personally, I never did do ultra distance racing. I'm a fan of the genre, and I think at some point I will, if my family situation will allow it, because I'm really curious. But I want to start here, the preparation for a race like this, which, Victor, it took you just below 24 hours, and Svenja, correct me, I think it was 26 hours and something that it took you. So it's a full day on the bike. It's not one of the 1 week events that are out there, but you go for 1 day nonstop, and it is like fully self-supported, the race out there. So besides training and riding your bike a lot, what goes into preparing for this event? Svenja, the days and weeks before this, how did you spend your time? What did you think about?
It's actually pretty interesting, and I guess it's a bit different for everybody. But I try to find out where are some supermarkets and some water points to fill up the water bottles. And then for me, the preparation came very short this time because I had to work a lot and there wasn't that much time to do a lot of preparation besides my normal training. So yeah, it was just a bit of route checking and some checkpoints where you can find some water. And then I downloaded the GPX, and that's more or less the real preparation for this race. Of course, there was more preparation in terms of like getting ready and finding the mental strength. But yeah, this time it was really a very short preparation for me.
Okay, like almost improvised, but in case people don't know, you are a veteran of the discipline, essentially.
Yeah, of
That's fair
course.
to say.
It does need a lot of preparation beforehand. For example, you need to know which equipment you need and which, you need the light, you need the nutrition. You need to know which tires you need, lots of things like this. And then it already starts months before to get all the equipment, to put it up, and then ride the bike you will ride the race with. So you get to know the position, and you sure you can hold this position for like 1.5 day. And then it's a bit different to the shorter races because it does need a lot of preparation besides the race. And it's a long time to do the preparation for these kind of races. And the longer the races are, the more preparation it actually needs. Maybe you need to find some spots where you can sleep if it's more than 2 days. Also, you should know the weather forecast so you can bring some clothes and stuff. Yeah, that's actually a lot of things you need to think about.
Victor, how about your prep? Similar to Svenja's, or?
Yeah, my preparation is for a different distance. My big goal of this year is the transcontinental. So it was a short ultra for me, but the preparation is not too much different for their distance, and 10 days ago I was finished another ultra race, and 1,400 kilometers race, and the the days before was all about to sleep, to to eat, and yes, it was a busy days before, and but I was very happy about my feeling before the race, before the tracker, and finally it was a great day for me, and yeah, I think my preparation was very good, with some good hours on bike, and especially on the Traka, like Svenja, I search some water points, and shops to have the best nutrition. For me, it's very important in this race to have a perfect nutrition, because when you don't have a water in point, you can be sure to have.
Yeah, your race is pretty much over. So let's maybe get a bit deeper into different parts of the preparation. And as we are already at the nutrition and shopping part, so how remote is the course of the tracker? Is it like one of the courses or where you can only find like one or two opportunities to get water and food on board and you cannot miss them? Or is it more connected to water stations and like say gas stations? Or do you cannot afford to miss one of them?
I would say it's like for an ultra, it's not that remote. Like there are many villages where you can at least get some restaurants or some like small snacks. I mean, there's not 100 of supermarkets in the route, but if you have a good route check before, you can definitely find a lot of stops where you can get food. And the good part is also that you can find water actually everywhere. Like there's a lot of little rivers where you can get some water, or some small fondant in the villages. So if you have a small clue of like where's the route going, you can actually find a lot of food, and you can
Okay,
stop
that
quite
makes
often.
it easier than some other races I know. Then for a day, because you already mentioned, Victor, it's like a short ultra, and I think it is, especially by nowadays standards, if you can do it in below 24 or around 24 hours, it's on the shorter side. So is nutrition, do you still go only carbs? Do you do it on mostly gels and carbs in your bottles, or is it the distance where you say you definitely need more solid foods? You want also some protein. What is the nutrition plan for a day like this for you?
For me, it was a lot of carbs. I kept with me one kilo and a half of maltodextrin and fructose bags, and I had just to have a water to fill in my bottles, and it was great. But in ultra, you need to have something to match. I don't know.
Shoe on.
Yes, and I bought in shop some candy and some protein bars and Coca-Cola. When I felt I was a little bit tired, Coca-Cola is a good one to get better, and yes, it was that for my nutrition.
Svenja, how about you?
Yeah, actually, pretty much the same. So I also went with just carbs and some bars, but I brought all the carbs I will need for the race with me. So my strategy was to just stop for water. And actually, I stopped for one, like I stopped at a shop because it was like in the middle of the night and it was open, and I was just running into it and also got a Coke, which actually saved me a few hours later when I was super tired. But yeah, I also brought all my carbs with me, and in this smaller ultras, I think you can still go with just carbs.
All right. What is like the distance or the duration where you say that is the point where the body needs something else? Protein becomes more important to also take it. Where's the cutoff point for this in your experience?
Maybe Victoire is the maybe you can say this because like you probably have more experience.
Yeah, but for me, when you have one and more days, you need to have this diversificate your nutrition with nutriment, with vitamins. Yes, and for 24 hours, I think carbs is the most is okay.
Yeah, if the gut is trained, you can run on it. Lovely. Okay, so we have discovered. Then, of course, in my opinion, when it comes to ultra distance stuff, the bike setup becomes more and more interesting to talk about because I also find that it becomes more and more nuanced. So, what is the gear that you are running on your bike for a day like this? I assume you have like a bit more than the smallest possible top tube bag. And what is in these bags actually? I guess you have like besides nutrition the basic stuff like you have plugs and CO2. But what what is the stuff you take on a long distance event that you wouldn't find in a 6-hour race bag? Or is it the same?
Yes, I think it's the same. Just the nutrition for me is different. I have one kilo of nutrition of maltodextrin fructose, and in a Swiss 60 race with a supply and stop you don't bring that, but yes, for the tools is pretty much the same.
Yeah, I would pretty much say the same. It's more or less the same, like if it's just a 24-hour race. But the big difference is that you bring all your stuff with you, and you don't get a like feeding zone and just change your backpack or whatever. So you're always carrying a lot of stuff with you, and also you need to think about how much water capacity you need. So, for example, I had a big backpack with a water bladder in it, and also two big bottles. So I don't have to stop every like 2 hours, so I can go for 4 or 5 hours with all the water I have. And then I have like the Tailfin rack, which is super super smart for racing. It was very stable, and I could put all my gels and stuff in it. And then I also brought some knee warmers and some arm warmers in case it's gonna be cold. I didn't use it, fortunately, but I brought it with me. And then also I brought a lot, like some more just in case things, like a tube more. And yeah, because you
How
knew
about
that you
charging for the head unit
exactly.
and
Then
batteries and
yeah,
stuff like this, I would assume?
yeah, you have I brought a power bank for the hammerhead, and for I didn't need it for the lights, but definitely for the hammerhead. And then also, of course, you need some lights. And in general, your setup is just I would say a lot heavier than the setup for like 360 race.
Yeah. And then before we get into how the races actually unfolded, I'd be curious to hear about your respective pacing strategies for the day, because I have really no feeling, and as I mentioned before, there is no live coverage to see it, how hard you go in a race of this distance, because it is like, it's not a 7-day type of event where you basically stay in zone 1, zone 2 all the time. But how hard do you actually go? Do you have some matches to burn during a day like this? What is the plan? How do you approach pacing it?
For me, I had not power meter or HR. I make the the Traka just on my feelings and my
and that is by design, or is it because you forgot it or didn't pack?
No,
So
no,
it's by
no.
design.
Yes, I just don't have power meter on my bike. And last year, the Traka 360 gave me a lot of confidence of my capacity of keeping high power on a long distance. And so I just push on with my feeling, and with my all my training of the year of my long endurance training. I think I was capable of maintain of on high power, and after I was solo, I know I was capable of keep a high pace, and yes, it was just on feeling, and yes.
Svenja.
Wow. For me it's different. Like, actually, I am using a power meter, so I also started with a power meter, and I also watched it. I always like to start a bit faster, and then risk to get a bit slower in the end. But I always think it's for me better to start a bit faster. But then, of course, I have the power meter numbers in my head and know how fast I can go or how much power I can bring, especially on the climbs. Sometimes it's a bit hard, especially if there are other people around you, to not overdo it on climbs. But then you need to say to yourself, just keep your pace and do your race.
And then overdoing would be what? I don't assume that you want to do VO2 efforts there, but would you go right threshold for up to maximum, I don't know, 15 minutes, but not longer, or?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the beginning, you feel super strong and good, and you probably full of adrenaline, and then you think you're flying. But if you overdo it there already, and you probably forget to eat in the beginning and stuff, then you can you can lose the race already pretty early, and then you just need to think about your power and then it's very much effective if you just keep one pace instead of going very fast at the beginning. Then I think half of the race my power meter died, and then I went without. And yeah, it also worked without power meter. It just would have been interesting to see the number in the end. But yeah, that's not the most important. It's fine.
But you don't have them then, so it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's just for half of the race.
Okay, yeah. This can happen. So, okay, now we know pretty much how you prepared for your respective races. And then the day comes, you go to the line. At what time was the start actually? I think it was a start in the dark, but was it riding into the night, or
it was 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning? Okay. So you get to the start line. Svenja, what is your mindset at this point in time? Are you going for the win? Are you confident that you will win? What is the state of mind?
I was super confident, and I also wanted to win, but I had no clue if I can win it. I was super happy to be in Girona at this point, because I got 2 days free of school for this event, and I really appreciated to be there. It doesn't matter what the result will be. So I was just super happy to stand on the starting line. And also I had good friends with me, so that made it even more happier and even better. And I knew I will do a good race, and just enjoy riding my bike for 1.5 days and not thinking about school and any other things, just riding my bike and enjoying. So I had a good mindset, and I knew I'll be strong in my head, and then that it will work out like this. I'm super proud myself, but very, very proud. Yeah.
And so that is, of course, the first edition that could be raised of the Traka Adventure. But from the looking at the scene and the people who lined up, do you have the impression that at these events the competition, especially in the women's field, is getting stronger and stronger and more packed?
Yeah.
Because from the outside, following the sport since a bit, I think there are more and more renowned names.
Yeah, so I think the ultra distances are getting more important every year, and also now the 560 there were some names, and I mean in the women's category there were some names riding for the podium, and also in the men's category I think there are many people they line up for, I mean, just riding their bike and to finish and have a good time. I mean, that's also totally fine. But I think there were a lot of people who went actually for the win.
Yeah, and who wanted to be competitive. How do you think about your competition for the Traka? Do you have like marked riders and you don't want to let them go? But then also you cannot do this, right? You cannot overdo it and follow wheels at all costs in these races. So what is the competition mindset that you have?
I knew there's going to be some strong women, and that's why I didn't know if I can win it. I knew I'm going to be strong, but I didn't know how the others will be. And also with my new job, I didn't know where I am, like in terms of training and stuff. But I started pretty fast, and then I knew I'm the first woman leading the women's category. And then when 2 women passed me, I was a bit like, okay, maybe it's gonna be more difficult to win it. But then we changed position like 1, 2, and 3. And at some point, I knew I'm the leading women again. And then I just went, and I knew if I'm going to continue and I just go on and nothing's going to happen, then I can win it. And then it actually worked out pretty well. But of course, I checked my competitors before the race and checked who's there.
Victor, when you rode to the start line, what were you thinking? Win at all cost?
No, after the ultra I did 10 days ago, I was completely broken after this ultra. I didn't I didn't can I cannot uh, walk after this, and it was difficult to have a goal on the tracker, and but day after day I felt better, and it gave me a lot of confidence to to do something on this race, and when I was on the start line, I I just I just wanted to do the race, and yeah, I was very happy to be on the start line, because yes, 10 days ago I did not know if I can, but yes, it was great to be here, to be among such big riders, and yeah, it was very exciting.
So how did your race then unfold? Because I read pretty early on the Dot Watcher CC blog, there was a post mentioning that you are in the lead. But how many hours in was that roughly that you established the lead? And how long in the was it, like almost pack racing? Of course not a pack, and I think drafting is forbidden, but like how long
Yeah.
was there eye contact with the other racers out there?
Yes, I am at the kilometers 70. I decided to go in front, because yeah, we were in a group. The drafting was not allowed, but the rider didn't respect it, but yeah, at kilometer 70, I knew that there were some rider in the front in a breakaway, some French riders. So I know them, and for me it was not good to sit there in the front, and so that's why I decided to go solo at kilometer 70, and in the second big climb of the race, I was in the front, and after I was solo until the end.
Lovely. So that was a long day out, soloing
Yeah.
away. How did the first part of your race go, Svenja?
Yeah, like I said already, like my strategy was to start like fast, or like as fast as I can,
Yeah.
to not do it too fast. And then I already knew I'm the first woman, and yeah, I just went a bit faster than my going pace for an ultra. And then at some point the first climb came, and then I also did the first climbs a bit faster. And I think yeah, there were two women passing me, I think in the third climb, and then they also they went up a bit faster than I did. But I just let them go, and then, like I said, we changed position like 1, 2, and 3, and at some point I was together with Julie, and we talked a bit and had a good ride together. We went into the night, and also there was a super crazy trail, which we did in the night, and we did this together, which was actually super nice because we had some company, and we both said like, actually it's super dangerous to be here alone. So we had a good conversation and spent a few hours together, and then at some point I think she stopped for a pee break, And then I continued, and then we actually said we're gonna meet again and continue together. But then I think she had a flat or something, and then she never came back. And at this point, I knew I'm the leading woman again, and then I stayed in front, and then I just tried to finish it off.
I assume when you are in the race, doing the race, you can also watch the tracker data of all your competitors during the race, right?
You can, like, I did, like, in the second part where also the 360 goes, there are some very long flats, and you can just like roll, and then you can pull out your phone, and you can have a watch, look at the dot watcher. And I also did this. I think I did it in the morning, like when it was when the sun came out. I had a check, and I just wanted to see where the next woman is, and then I saw that she's actually pretty far behind, which actually was a nice feeling. But on the other hand, I also was like, no, I just want to finish. Like, I want to go as fast as possible. I want to go, like, I just want to be like, stop this and don't be on my bike anymore, and just get to the finish line. So there was no point in going any slower, even if there was a big gap.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, I mean, you can flat as well at any point, right? And then
exactly, the finish is only at the finish line, so you shouldn't take it easy just because there's a gap. So that's very true.
Better, I assume, to not feel too confident at any point.
Yeah, definitely.
Back to the start. Do you see people really sending it in the beginning? Because I remember watching from some other ultra races commentary, and people said, look, they started and it was full on race mode. And here we are in the territory where you need to be maybe a bit more careful. But if I would do such a race and then you have the start, what do you need to be prepared for to see? And then also, if people go super fast and you don't know them super well, do you assume they are just overdoing it, or does it still irk you and you want to follow them?
I think you must to concentrate on your feelings. You in the start they were going very, very hard. I I remember that Marin de Saint-Exupéry pushed very hard in the start on the flat, and I was in the wheels to not push too hard, to not going in a hard zone. And for me you have to economize your watts on the start, and not to be over your like LT1. It's for me it's important to keep some energy for the race.
On the women's side, is it different because you're not starting separately and at the adventure, or are you?
No, we started together, and also in the beginning I was in the men's pack. Like, it was when Gerald, like the manager from the race, he was in front of us. Exactly, he was in front of us with the motorbike, and like the people were going crazy. Like, every corner, it was like sprinting out of the corner. Like, the first, I think he was pretty long in front of us, like 7-8 Ks, and it was really fast. And at some point he went away, and then it just started like a 100K race. And then I think it was a pretty fast start. I mean, it was also the the gravel and the road was like inviting for a fast start in this race. But yeah, some people I was thinking like, okay, maybe you should go a bit slower. But yeah, after a while you sometimes like pass people and then you're like, okay, now you definitely started too fast. Yeah, it's pretty funny to watch the others.
Because I think we are also seeing people coming over to these distances from the shorter gravel distances, like the 360 and so on. And then probably it's because I see the trend across the board that it's getting harder and harder and harder. Like even like the only 360-kilometer version of a race used to be much more attritional, and now it's like yeah, probably not always ending in a sprint, but it's much closer together. Okay, this year with Toby Kongstad's 150k solo, probably not, but bad example. But in general, these long races become more competitive, and I think similar stuff is happening in the ultra distance world. That becomes more and more professional, and more people come over. But then on the other hand, if you come from these distances, it's probably easy to go too hard, because you can underestimate how it is to spend like the entire day, or in other cases multiple days out there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for these long races, you definitely need to do your race and need to do your power. And very often, the endurance just comes to the like in the end when you can just go like forever on your bike, and this is a pace you can just like you just need carbs and then you can go forever. But yeah, if you're too fast, then at some point you just crack.
Then you spend so Victor, one story that I read about you, it's not from the Traka, but I found it very impressive, is that you went back 400 kilometers to grab your wallet. What happened?
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yes.
What I read?
Yes, it's true. In the TCR of last year, I after the 28 hours, I in the morning I was a little bit tired, and in a gas station I forgot my wallet, and in race like TCR, you need to have your passport to pass some countries, and after 100 kilometers, I remember that in my wallet where my passport was my passport, and I try to call the gas station to send me the wallet in my route, and after after some discussion, I understand that it was not possible, and I was forced to come back to to bring my wallet, and I did 500 kilometers to go back, and after my race, I lost my race.
But if I understood it correctly, you then continued the race after this.
Yes, I continued to race, and I finished 24. But yes, it gave me a lot of lessons, and today I am very happy to have this mistake, and yes.
You will never forget your passport again.
No, no, no.
Hopefully not.
Mm.
So that is actually a crazy story, but also great that you finished after this little incident. I find that is yeah, shows grit. At this edition of the Traka, was there also a moment where you needed to bring the same grit and the same willpower to the race, or was it like
Yes, At some moment, I watched the tracker and I saw that Seb was not too much behind, and at some moment I was not very sure to win it, and in my head it was just about pushing hard and to be focused on my effort, and yes, that's kind of event of last year, and give me a lot of confidence and a lot of great of not not focus of other events, and just focus on my effort, and I didn't care about where Seb can be, and yes, just doing my own effort.
Svenja, what was like the most challenging moment for you out there this time?
Like, if I think back, then actually there wasn't a point where it was really bad. Of course, there were some points where I was like tired and I had saddle sores and I wanted to quit, like just stop riding my bike. But there wasn't really a part where I was like really down. It was always like I always managed to get up after the down, like just get out of the emotional roller coaster. Like sometimes it's hard after such a good result to think about the bad things during a race. But yeah,
Maybe it's just becoming like this distance too short to be really getting you to these points after
yeah,
the
like
experience that you have with the format and different length.
exactly like Badlands last year was pretty tough for me, and I was in a like very bad shape all the time, and my mindset was very negative. And I said to myself, I never ever gonna. I want to experience this again, and as soon as I fall in these kind of negative thoughts, I don't want to do it anymore. So this was also way shorter and way less hard. So I tried to just stay positive and like for this, yeah, like shorter ultra distances, it's way much easier than in the longer ones.
Seems like a good day out.
Yeah, like for me, like the big advantage was to be out there and to have the feeling to just be allowed to ride my bike without thinking about my work. And I also had some, like my teachers from school said like you can come back with a win then. Like she doesn't know what that means, but she said it like this. And then I was like, okay, actually I want to come back with a win. And this of
Good.
course motivates you very much, and then you could just continue. Like doesn't matter how bad your saddle sore is or how bad you feel, you could just continue.
Yeah, because you already alluded to it a few times in the conversation here, and I think you're also pretty open about it, like in Instagram posts and all this. But you're working full time in a proper day job, and still you manage to prep for races of this variety, which I can only imagine as like somebody who works and who has kids, that it's pretty tough to combine the two, and so brings its own challenges to your training rhythm.
Yeah, definitely, it brings its own challenges, and also it's hard to combine like just time wise. It's sometimes hard to get on the bike and to still do all my work load. But I said I want to do this, and I started it in January, and I also said I want to try to continue my cycling career. And yeah, now I'm super happy that it worked out. And on the other hand side, it also brings some mental strength, and then you can transfer it in the race, and then maybe it makes you even stronger than being a professional riding your bike every day. Then it's not. Then it's like it's just normal to ride your bike, but now it was like a special day, and I was really excited, and I was really looking forward to. So maybe this was also like a good thing, and it made me even stronger in my mind.
And I can only assume that there is a level of freedom that also comes from it, right? You still have like the day job, and you don't have to do all the privateer hustle that it would otherwise be, and feel the pressure of the results in the same way as somebody who probably has sponsorship deals and with this the livelihood relying on it. So I assume pros and cons, like everything in life, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like I also try to get at least some budget from sponsors and trying to do a private year life next to my job, but I'm definitely not dependent on it. And also, if I say I don't want to race anymore or I don't want to do that race, then I'm free in saying it, and I can discuss with my sponsors which races I can do. So that's actually also a lot of freedom, and it's super good to have something next to cycling.
So do you think that this distance actually could turn into your sweet spot distance?
Like thinking about the races I did so far and the races I did very good in, I think it might be a good distance for me at the moment. These like a bit over a day or a day races. Yeah, maybe that's at the moment my sweet spot distances.
And Victor, so there is less that people probably know about yourself and what you are doing. So are you a privateer, full-on professional at the moment?
No, I'm also working at the moment. I work as a temp, so it gives me some flexibility and liberty of on my time. So I work for example, in the afternoon from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I can train on the morning, and I choose this job for 1 hour or plus to give me the chance to have opportunities in sports, and I hope this win can bring me some visibility, and I hope in the future I can be a privateur or professional, but like Svenja said, I not have the pressure of a result with my job, and I can be very free of in my mind.
Yeah. So what people probably, if they read about the race, they also picked up that you are relatively young, especially for ultra distance stuff. And you told me when we briefly spoke before going on air that you are 23 years
Yes.
of age right now, which very often we see people in their 30s winning these races. And back in the days, I remember when I was young and I got into cycling as a fan, then of course people also thought you can only compete for grand tours in your 30s. Now we know that you can be probably early 20s to do it, but in general, endurance was to be believed to be more of a older medium aged man's and women's thing. Now you're winning this pretty important European race at the age of 23. At what age did you feel that these distances actually suit you?
In my young age, I was in elite category in the highest level, highest amateur level in France. Since and after I was I had a genetical problem, so I decided to stop cycling at this level to treat myself. To yes, and after 1 year, at 21 years old, I decided to test myself on a longer distance, because in cycling, what I love the most is to be on my bike the long I can, and yes, I find that I found in this discipline in ultra something very good for me, and after I decided to go on some event like North Cape, and it was the perfect discipline for me, and so I decided to continue.
Do you think, looking at the discipline, and that's also to you, Svenja, I mean, you follow this closely since the time, that is it getting younger and more attractive to younger riders as well?
I think in general it gets more popular, so people see it more and they get aware of like all the events, and also like the events. There are many events, and there are so many people like seeing them, and then they can just relate to the ultra distances, and then I think also people get younger to start ultra events, because maybe sometimes they're not good enough for the like shorter races, or they think they're not good enough, and then they try themselves out in the longer ones, and then maybe they're better. But yeah, I think people get younger in the ultra distances as well. I mean, it's a whole new like sport or a new thing coming up. So in general, people just see it, and then they also see, oh, Traka 560 is also very popular, and people can get a good contract if they win it, or if they have visibility, and then of course it's more attractive.
Yeah, makes sense to put it this way. And it's, yeah, just like even an event like the Traka last year, adding the adventure, which then I think it was for rain, if I remember correctly, or weather conditions that they
Yeah.
couldn't have it or didn't end up having it. And we see Unbound this year, like even Lachlan Morton obviously going to do the Unbound XL version instead of the Unbound 200. So it's which again I guess is a popularity boost. So more people are going to follow this one, and let's see how media coverage is going to evolve on that end of the spectrum. I mean, it's not something that we can watch live streams on, but only just the dot watch experience is with the blog posts, and then more visuals and more content snippets from on the way. It becomes more captivating than it used to be. Definitely. So any final thoughts that you have when it comes to this year's Traka Adventure that you want to share with the audience out there, Svenja?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first edition of Traka 560, and it was a very huge event in total. It was super cool to be part of this, and like even cooler to win it, and like to have a podcast now with the male winner Victor. It's super cool, and I'm very curious about the how it's going on. Like maybe there's even longer races coming up. Maybe next year there's more people lining up for the 560. Like I think the 360 going to be the 560, and then it's going up. It's going to be very excited, and then I hope there's going to be good good visibility to this race as well. Like it's not only the 200 and the 360, it's also the adventure. Sometimes it's a bit like the side event. But yeah, you see that there's also very strong riders coming and doing great racing. So I think this should be equal with the other races as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I would even go to so far as to say like it just suits a very different type of rider, because I think in the question before you put it like people who are not good enough for the other races, but it's just it's so different. And I see like former world tour guys, there are some that now also do ultra distance racings like the 10 Dams and Ted Kings of this world and so on, but they many also are struck by how challenging it is mentally, physically, to just do stuff that is so long, and it's just a very different kind of effort, right?
Yeah, it's just a completely different thing, I would say. Like it's not like it's another way of racing. It's not racing against each other. It's more like racing against yourself and having a good mental part. I think the mental part is more like at least half of it, and it's more than in these shorter races, I think.
Victor, your clothing thoughts on the trucker?
And well, on the Traka, you have on the 560, you have to care about a lot of things, and you don't have assistants. You have to care about your nutrition, your mechanical problems, and yeah, it's very different in compared to 360 or less distance. And yeah, for the world tour guys, I think it's so different to. Yes, you need to have more experience of this kind of race to perform. And yeah, for me, it gave me 3 years to understand how ultra can be a race. And yeah, you need to persevere, to have a perseverance and resilience in this kind of events.
Yeah, and I mean, as we just talked about, like this short event, we didn't even talk about sleeping or not sleeping, rather. Which, yeah, of course, nobody would sleep in below 24 hours, right? But people sleep. I think they do more or less without sleeping. The 800-kilometer stuff, like Badlands these days as well, and then. Yeah, that's a whole nother dimension of this type of racing, which maybe we can get into another time in another edition. But what I'd be curious about, and I think many of the people listening as well, is where are you guys going to race next? Where can they see you racing, and where can they follow your journeys? Svenja.
So my next race is actually the migration race in Kenya. So it fits perfect in my holiday schedule. It's just the 2 weeks where I have some holiday, so I can go to Kenya, which I'm really looking forward to. It's a bit different of racing, like it's a stage race, but it's a big adventure, so that's going to be really cool. And then the plan right now is to do Badlands in the end of August.
Oh, you're going back.
Yeah, like there's some, like I have the summer holidays in August and first weeks of September, so this would fit perfect. And then I might try it again. And yeah, I mean, when I did
What
it
is your
last year,
what is your mindset for Badlands? Is it like you have unfinished business and you need to
I
go
have
back
unfinished business. Yeah. So last year I said, like, during the race, I was thinking, how on earth can people come back here, like doing this twice or even 3 times. It's just so hard. Like I couldn't think about coming back and do it again. But now I really want to go back and just want to finish it with a positive mindset and just come in the finish with a big smile and just be proud of myself, which I wasn't last year. In the end, of course, I would like to win it. I mean, I'm a racer. I always want to win. But in the end, I think I just need to go back and have a positive experience, and doesn't matter the result. Just to make a good lands out of bad lands.
Nice.
That's the plan for the year, and then my job continues pretty tough. So there's probably not so many races coming up, maybe some smaller ones. But I try to put a bit of my journey on my Instagram, and then people can just see what I'm doing. Or maybe I'm not posting that much because I'm stuck in school, but I'm just trying to do at least a bit of racing.
But we'll make sure to put it down in the show notes so everybody can just go there and start follow Svenja. And of course, Victor, you as well. What are your next races?
Like Svenja, I have unfinished business with TCR. With my mistakes, it gave me a lot of motivation to be back in the TCR number 11. And of course, I really want to win it, but I'm open of all possibilities, and I know that mistakes can be a very good lesson, and I'm really looking forward.
When is it starting?
It's starting on 27 July.
Mm-hmm.
And we start from Santiago de Compostela, and we finish in Romania, and after that I will do the Badlands, but in duo with a friend, with no pressure. Just after the Transcontinental, I don't know how well I can recover, but yes, I'm really looking forward to race the Badlands. Yes.
I'm very grateful that you made the time to come on here and talk about your Traka Adventure experience with me. I wish you all the best for the upcoming races and to a lot of good results for both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.